Are you tired of hearing mental health from a superficial view and want to hear about realistic views? Well, you come to the right place, a space where healing is central, but also normalized. Your hosts, Danica and Myra, who are in the mental health field, will explore topics that help promote healing in your everyday life. Through our podcast, you will get the real and the work to focus on your healing. Welcome to Black Women Healing Podcast.
Answers, I'm ready.
Hey y'all, we're back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast, and today we have another very special guest. Pia, I'm so excited to have you, and we always start with a random discussion, so I'm just going to go ahead and think of a random discussion. I guess it's kind of not random because we talked about it briefly, but okay, what do you, if we could request people to pay us money for talking to us, right? How much would you charge for to speak with you for 5 minutes?
Okay, good. I'm happy you put the time in there. Hi, everyone. First off, I'm happy you put the time in there because I was just about to ask how long. 5 minutes. I would probably do $50.
Ooh, $50.
Yep.
Well, what's
And I can
gonna
explain
happen
why.
in these 5
Well,
minutes?
in these 5 minutes, $50 does not include anything that my little brother, who are 6 and 7, can't sit next to me and listen to.
Okay, all right. And why would you choose $50 though?
Because $10 a minute, and because it's just a random number. Like I could probably buy a nice pair of shoes from Shoe Dazzle with $50, or I could go out to my favorite sushi restaurant, Sugarfish, for $50.
This is
Buy a
so
bottle of wine.
I think that's a great price, and I think that like me, immediately I'm thinking, I'm like, oh well, I'm a therapist, I'm a marriage and family therapist, so I do charge to be spoken to, but that's my profession. But it's
Amen.
different if somebody like me. I always tell people I'm a very different person when it's my friend versus when I'm a therapist. It's not the same. I do not talk the same. I do not give you the same feedback. It's very different. So I think
Amen.
if I was just waking up and I was charging somebody to speak with me, I don't know. I think I would probably charge $10 a minute. $10 for 5 minutes. I would do.
Really?
Yeah, because sometimes I get enjoyment from talking to people. So it depends on what we're talking about, right? So
True.
if I'm getting like enjoyment and happiness from speaking with you, I charge you 10.
No, if I get enjoyment from speaking to you, I probably won't charge you at all. But
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, if you're asking me to pay me to speak to me, we already know what this is. So
that's
I'm
true.
gonna take you to the cleaners. Child,
Okay. So, oh snap.
that was fun. I like that question.
You like that question? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and properly introduce Pia. So, um, I'm just gonna read it in the person that she sent it. Okay, so it says, I'm Pia, aka Love Pia, because to know me is to love me. I learned most of what I know from watching trans women on YouTube and have always held a reverence for the community on this platform. Starting my journey, I felt so lonely. I had no trans people to talk to, ask questions, or turn to for support. I knew I was different at a very young age, but wasn't sure to what extent. The trans community on YouTube helped me see I wasn't alone. I remember sitting on YouTube for hours a day, soaking up information like a sponge. I imagined joining the ranks to help others who felt alone, as well as educating those that want to learn more. Love P is a safe space for hashtag girls like us to kiki, to be vulnerable and learn from one another. I not only have a lot to add to the conversation surrounding our experiences in a society that doesn't 100% understand nor respect us, but have gained insight to help others like myself understand they are wonderfully and beautifully made.
2 snaps.
Yes, hey, I was reading, that's a monologue. It was great.
I told you, I love the human language, or the American language, the English
Uh-huh.
language. I just love expressing myself through words.
Well, if you all have not already kind of seen what we're talking about, this episode is really going to focus on Black Women Healing Pod discussing transgender visibility. And so the first question that we're gonna ask is, tell us a little about PIA. What are your passions, hobbies, and overall things that you enjoy?
Okay. I enjoy making people smile, making
Mm-hmm.
people happy. I'm a people pleaser, and that sometimes carries a negative connotation. But in in my older years, more so now as an adult, I realize I don't have to sell out, quote unquote, or sell myself short to make other people happy,
Mm-hmm.
but I can still enjoy and love adding, positive energy or light to other people's lives. I remember working at a fast food restaurant, back in college, and people would always say, like, why are you so happy? Why are you so bubbly? And this is gonna sound cheesy, but I used to always say the same thing I say today. You never know what your smile or your positive energy, your just positive nature can do to someone's day. Like that someone, this cup of coffee they're buying could be like the cup of coffee, the last cup of coffee they
Mm-hmm.
drink before they go and do something drastic like commit suicide, which is such a very serious topic, and it affects our community and all types of communities.
Mm-hmm.
And literally I've had so many people come back into the restaurant and just say like, you really just changed my whole mood of my day. And
Mm-hmm.
that to me is the biggest compliment. I love helping people. So I that's not really a hobby, but it is.
Hey, hobby for you. I think that
Yeah,
sounds
it
really
is.
good. Yeah. Okay. So you all, like, I actually I found Pia's Instagram on IG, and so in the bio it said unapologetically Black trans woman. So just why do you define yourself as an unapologetically Black trans woman?
Because of everything that I've been through. I define myself this way because too many times in my life, I found myself apologizing for being myself in relationships, in the workplace, and even in home life sometimes. And I just got to a place after going through the same things over and over and wondering why, where I just said, no more. Even right now, I'm reading this book called Girl, Stop Apologizing. And it's by Rachel Hollis. Um, and
Yeah.
just gone are the days of making excuses for the way that I feel. I have requirements for every interaction in my life. You want to date me? What are your views on marriage? How does your family feel about you dating trans women? Are you able to be consistent? And the list goes on and on. Like I'm not accepting less than I feel I deserve, whether the other party involved understands it, respects it, or recognizes it. This is what I want, and I'm not apologizing for it. Come correct or go home.
Yes. 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 I
Okay, I'm
felt
gonna let it
that.
dance.
I felt that. Oh, sounds amazing. Oh my goodness. Whew. I
It's
hope y'all
easier
felt
said
that
than
too.
done. Yeah.
Okay, so kind of going into the more of our questions for today, tonight. So it says, to be most informative to our audience, can you define transgender?
This was hard. Like when you really think about it, can you really define transgender? I mean, at the basis, like going to Webster, transgender is transitioning from one sex to the other, whether it's male to female, as it is for me, or female to male. But I see. I really want to go deeper and define transgender as an experience
Hmm.
because it is like saying you're transgender. I was just having this discussion on Instagram with someone, and everyone's walk is different. I am not the poster child for the trans community, nor am I perfect. But at the basis of transgender is a set of experiences. It is accepting that the body you were born in is not what makes you most comfortable, and taking the necessary steps to change that and live your most authentic life unapologetic apologetically.
Mm-hmm.
um so it's hard to define transgender. It's a set of experiences, and those experiences can be different from person to person, but at its core it's a movement from one sex to the next, to your
Yeah.
most happiest life, fulfilled life.
Yes, absolutely. No, and that most definitely makes sense. It's an experience, and it'll be
Yeah,
different for different folks, right?
definitely.
Okay. The next question is, what do you think are the most misconceptions Black women have about Black
Mm,
trans women?
mm. You got a couple minutes, cause
Yep, yep.
child, let me get on my list. Okay, so the biggest misconception Black women have about Black trans women is that we're going to take their men,
Mm,
corrupt their men, steal their men, anything to do with their men. They are, a lot of times, I won't say all, because there are some that have evolved and think on a higher level, more
mm-hmm.
accepting, but most of the time in my experiences, they're threatened
Mm,
because Black men, I mean, Black women, I'm not going to blame them, but they are part of the reason why it's so hard for Black men to accept their feelings when it comes to our community. Like they don't know where to put their feelings. They don't know how to process their feelings.
mm-hmm.
They don't want to stand up and say, this is who I love. Or I actually have an ex that did stand up and say, this is who I love. But then when it came to his mother, it was like he became a 6-year-old little boy again. And like, oh, well, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to be respectful of your mother because she gave you life. And
Mm-hmm.
I will always respect her. But at the end of the day, as a man, you have to stand up and say, this is who I love. And because you love me, I'm going to ask that you respect her at the very least. You don't have to like her. You don't have to agree with what I'm doing, but I would ask that you would respect
Mm-hmm.
her. And the mother not wanting to lose her child, not that I'm trying to take her child, because it's not my choice. I step out of that, relationship between you and your mom so that you guys can have it. However, don't sit there and let her call me a man.
Is
And
was
you
if
just
you
sitting
don't
there
mind me
quietly.
asking, was his mother a Black woman?
Yes, she was. And she was older. She was in her 60s, so I get it. She grew up in a different time period.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I get it doesn't mean I have to accept it. I'm not going to disrespect her, even if she gets disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
I will still carry myself with class and, understand that I love you and this is the woman that gave you life. So at the end of the day, I'm thankful for her because obviously who she raised before me, I fell in love with. So
Mm-hmm.
she did something right, just because she doesn't, everyone takes time. Like when I first realized that I was trans, it was a processing time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have like when you shop online, there's a processing time before your package is in the mail. You have to go through the process. My process was first, I dressed as a woman for years before I even started hormones,
Mm-hmm.
to the point when I realized that you really like, I'm more comfortable as Pia than I was my past life. I was, I had so much anxiety going outside, quote unquote, as a boy.
Yeah.
then I was so comfortable when I went outside as a woman. And so I had to go through my own process, and my family had to go through a process when I told them. And usually, men that I date, when it's their first experience with a trans woman, they have to go through a process.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to go through processes. So I can respect that your mother has to go through a process. This is not how she saw your life, but at the end of the day, she needs to work through that process however long it takes her. But I need to know that at the other side of that process, she's going to accept this union because I ain't going nowhere, and neither are you. No, just kidding. And he actually, it actually, this dynamic actually ended up being the demise of our relationship
Oh.
because I got to the point where it's like, okay, it's been a year and a half and we got matching tattoos. You got a key to my apartment. We done been on 2 of my family vacations. But when it comes to Christmas, you can't even spare 10 minutes to come see me because you're with your family who doesn't accept me.
Hmm.
That's not okay.
Most definitely. I'm sorry you most definitely had to go through that too.
Thank you. I grew from it. I take everything happens for a reason. And if you make it to the other side, look for the lessons because there's
Absolutely.
definitely lessons and it makes you better.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
still love you. And if you're out there listening, hi. No, I'm just kidding. I
I
was
made
just
it to
talking to
the
his
top.
sister.
Bye.
Okay. How you doing? Call me. My number changed, but I'm being your DM. So just kidding.
Yeah,
but
so
it was
just kind of
happy
getting back
memories.
to this misconceptions piece of like Black
Yes.
women having on like Black trans women. Yeah, so I guess kind of from what you're saying with your experiences, just like not accepting, like just feeling like that
Mm-hmm.
your experience and how you identify is not a factual and real thing.
Exactly. And I can't even necessarily blame the Black community or Black women. It's a societal thing.
Right.
We as a society, and I always tell people this, let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, where do you see trans women as a whole? Not even just Black trans women. We'll get to that in a minute, but trans
Mm-hmm.
women as a whole, where do you see us in sexual situations? Whether it's pornography, whether it's somebody being undercover. Even
Mm-hmm.
though I'm a woman, what is there to be undercover about? But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
it's always like the hush hush don't tell. Nowadays we're starting to get, we're definitely making the strides, society, to tell our stories, like shows like Pose. I am obsessed with, obviously. um I'm a New Yorker, woo woo, so telling our stories from like my own backyard. Like, I was in the ballroom scene, and the ballroom scene is a huge part of me accepting myself for me fully and completely. So I relate to the stories they're telling or bringing to the limelight, like, wholeheartedly. I feel like this, like, every episode, it's like, that was me, that was me, that was me. I can fully relate. So we're making strides, but society has a long way to go,
Yeah,
definitely. And then
absolutely.
the Black community has even longer to go.
Yeah, most definitely.
you know
So, we kind of talking about it a little bit already, but what would you say your top struggle is in being a Black trans woman?
well, there's the struggle of respect and acceptance, which is not really my struggle, but it
Mm-hmm.
is my mission, my platform. I don't know the exact word, but it's where my heart is. My heart is to help people, have conversations like these so that people can educate themselves, because ignorance comes from a lack of education. I
Mm-hmm.
tell a lot of my friends, like, I am the girl that a guy like that might not understand and have a lot of questions. I will sit there and talk to this gentleman about all his questions. Like, I am the girl you can come to, and even though you might say something disrespectful, I'm going to educate you on it. I'm not going to get offended and cuss you out, because what does that do? Especially if you can, if I educate you and you continue to disrespect me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to check you.
Right.
But if you're literally just ignorant, I will educate you, because who else are you going to have these conversations with? If men are able to become comfortable, men, women, Black, blue, red, orange, don't care. If people are able to be,
Can you hear me?
ultimately leads to them respecting us,
Mm-hmm.
which is the ultimate goal. We need to focus on being respected at the end of the day. Once we're respected, then it's like, oh, she's just a woman.
So respect. And respect looks, what does that mean for you? Respect.
Respect means, it's, respect is like, how do I put it in words? Because for me, respect is like a feeling. I can feel like, a lot of times when I'm out, sometimes there's anxiety on whether a guy knows, because people tell me all the time, like, oh, I didn't know, looking at your pictures or seeing your videos or seeing you in person, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, sometimes I have anxiety, and I have to ask myself, why do you have anxiety? And it's because them not knowing could lead to dangerous situations. And I get anxiety because, A, I don't want to be embarrassed, I don't want to be harmed,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this to turn into a big scene, so I have anxiety. But why are those even a factor?
Mm-hmm.
Because these people are ignorant to who we are. And once we educate them and they become familiar with who we are, and they, like I said, accept it, they can respect it. And they can, whether you know or not, you respecting it means you don't treat me any different than you would anyone else. And a lot of times today, knowing results in us being treated differently. Oh, you a show. Oh, okay. It's like, what I'm still the same woman that walked in here,
Mm-hmm.
minding her business, mind you, and you walked. First of all, you talked to me about your, to your boys. Then you walked across the bar, came to say hi to me, bought me a drink, met my girls, and now that I'm being upfront and honest with you, it changes everything. Am I still not pretty and attractive like I was when you 5 seconds ago when you walked over here? I'm
Mm.
not her. Or it may because I'm the kind of person where I might not tell at hello. I'm gonna tell before I feel like we're gonna be in an intimate situation because I don't want to be alone with someone and give them that. I've been in an abusive relationship and I'd rather not go there. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's a part of men's processes, which is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell before it gets to an intimate level. But sometimes, even if I talk to a guy for like a week straight on the phone or on video chat, and then I'm finally like, okay, this is getting serious, let me tell him. That it's like sometimes that whole week of us connecting and bonding and building something is now thrown in the trash can because I told you one thing about me that was there in the beginning. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
If you respected me, it wouldn't matter.
Ooh.
I'm just
Ooh.
saying.
This is deep. That's deep.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get deep,
No,
but
we like deep. We like deep. That's.
okay.
I'm getting what you're saying. So you're saying that
Hmm.
after this time of talking to someone and building this connection, you would hope that by that time they will have respect for you.
Period.
And so when you tell them, just give me examples of like, okay, if you tell someone, are they like, are they respectful if they're not wanting to continue dealing with you, or are they like disrespectful at that point?
I thank God I haven't had anyone be disrespectful. Thank
Okay.
God, in my experiences. I have had men respectfully decline, and everyone has a choice. I don't want to feel like I have to trick anyone to be with me. So
Mhm.
I can respect your choice. Just respect me as a person. And then on the flip side, I've had men that are just like, wow, I didn't know, but I'm here. You know what I mean? But I have connected with you and move forward. And then I've also had men, as soon as you tell them, they wanted to give you the moon and the stars, and now you tell them, and all they want is sex. It's
Oh.
like and this has happened like with me and my best friend, or my best friend and I. We've been out and men don't know, and then they come and speak to us, and either someone tells them that's around, like, oh, that's whatever, or they see something or they hear something, or whatever the case happens, they find out. And then like we've literally had men be like, okay, well, I'm not really cool with going all the way, but I'll take some fellatio. What?
Oh.
Why would I demean myself to that level to
Yeah.
deal with you? You know what I mean? And it's just like, what goes through your head, sir? And her and I, we are the worst duo because we literally ping pong. Like, she'll get up in their face and I'll just sit back like, mm-hmm. And then I'm the one that's like, okay, the reason she did that is because, and I'm the educator. She goes off, I
Uh-huh.
educate.
Uh,
Like, he's like, whoa, why are you getting so hostile? Well, the reason she's getting hostile is because you just disrespected us. You
yeah.
just literally said that we're not good enough for you to take seriously or to take on a date or to introduce to your mother, but we're good enough to meet you in the bedroom.
Hmm.
Conundrum. I'm just saying.
Most definitely. Okay.
I'm
So
sorry, I done derailed the whole.
no, like that needs to be spoken about. So it's not even like completely like folks not, especially when we're talking about, at least I don't know exactly who if this is a man you're talking about, but basically
Hmm.
wanting to halfway accept you. That's what it is.
Literally, literally. And it's a part of
Yeah.
the process. I'm not saying it's okay, but I've noticed when men first, either they have their first experience or realize that they are trans attracted, they do kind of go through a sexual phase where it's just they don't want anything besides that. They want to explore and play. And it's it can even be said when a man loses his virginity. A lot of times he just wants to play, just wants to get out there and experiment. But it it stinks, and I explain this to men. They're like, then why don't you let it happen? Because it stinks when that's all we get.
Mm-hmm.
It's too far and few that we get a man that actually will stand up and say, this is what I like. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you think. I don't care about your looks, your stares. You will respect me and you will respect her.
Mm.
Period. My ex gave me that, even though we split because of other things, but he always gave me that. Like, he's still on my Instagram now. And I don't, like, when I look back, all my ex-boyfriends are, for the record. But when I look back, like, I don't feel like we broke up, I have to delete you. I never knew you. Like, I've never been that girl.
Yeah.
These were happy moments that I posted, that I shared. And just because we broke up does not mean the happiness goes away from those moments. I actually just reposted a like memory from my archive on my story yesterday. And people are like, "Are y'all back together?" No. But at the end of the day, it came up in my archive, and that was a happy day. We were wearing matching outfits, and he was giving me a piggyback. Like, it was cute.
Yeah. It sounds
I don't
like
hate this
it.
man.
And that's
I'm
good.
a real, I try not to be. I try to spread love and happiness and just light, positive energy. Because whatever you put out there, you get back.
For sure. Kind of going into the next question when it's asking like, in your experience living in Los Angeles, and I don't know if you're still here, but what are your favorite spaces for Black trans women?
Well, I do still live in Los Angeles, but at the moment with Miss Rona going around, I had to take refuge at my mama's house in North Carolina, child. Get me out of LA, get me to where the food is plentiful and the
Ooh,
love is
yeah.
child. She made fried chicken tonight, fried chicken, yams. Okay, I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
getting off
jealous.
track.
I'm jealous, right? Because you're doing too much. I'm jealous.
I know, child. But yeah, so in Los Angeles, I am a bit of a partier. I've cut back in my older years now. I'm an adult, trying to get married. I got goals, and I'm like, I'm not gonna find my husband at the club. So let me pull back and let me start changing up where I go. But safe places. West Hollywood has always been a safe place.
Okay.
And I still love going there, but sometimes I feel like a lot of the fetishizers, if that's even a word, or a lot of girls in the scene, or in this community call them chasers, men that only see us in sexual situations. They go there, so that's a lot that you meet. But occasionally, you do meet a good guy, like my ex. I actually met him at a bar, and it was not to tell my business, but it was a one night stand. So I thought, and it was kind of a rebound. I was getting over someone else that he went to high school with, drama. But so it was like oh, this is gonna be fun for the night and whatever. And short story long, we left and he couldn't remember where he parked. His car ended up getting towed, but while we were looking, we spent 2 hours walking around WeHo looking for his car, and I got to really talk to him and get to know him and kind of form a bond. Like, who are you? And so did he. So from the one night stand, he kept coming back, and even when he kept coming back, I kept being like, "Don't get your feelings involved. You met him at a club. Like, come on." But he just showed himself worthy enough of me. And yeah, he broke down on my walls. So WeHo is one safe place. We also have a we have a club bar in the Valley in North Hollywood that has a trance night on Thursday nights. And it is called oh my god, I literally go like almost every Thursday. I can't think of the name.
Why you done left and forgot already?
Child. Oh, well, it's been a couple weeks since I've been there because I've been trying, like I said, trying to live a classy lifestyle. So I'm trying to caliber. But what is it called? Okay, I
What's the
will
name of the
remember.
place?
Yes, Cobra. It's called Cobra.
Oh, Cobra. Okay.
Thursday nights, and Cobra is like, for me, because like I said, like you said in my bio, I didn't have any trans friends. So when I got with my ex, we kind of tapped into this trans community together. That's also why we formed a really tight bond, and I still love this person because he was there in the beginning stages of PIA, of the woman you see before you. He was there, so we went to Cobra for the first time together. It's where I met all of my girlfriends now. I met them at Cobra. All of them, like, I pretty much consider them my family. We are a family. Whether we fight, whether we go back, ups and downs, I still got their back. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect them. I don't care if I just, said I hate you.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever disrespect you in my face, whether we talking or not. Okay, girl, I got your back. And that's where I met all of them. So Cobra is a great place. I love the owner. I've gotten really close to him as well. He even said, because everyone knew my ex and I together, he even was like, when you guys get married, you can have your marriage here for free.
Oh, like Cobra.
he is he is such a supporter of our community, and he says it's because his mother, um, every trans person she knew was so kind to her. So she always wanted to give back to the trans community. And so when he bought a bar, he made it his mission to have a safe place for trans women.
Yeah.
And that's what he has on Thursdays. WeHo being West Hollywood is starting to get into this with they have once a month at the chapel, they have a trans night.
Mm-hmm.
And we need more places like this, because I don't want to feel when I go out that the only places I'm accepted and respected are at, gay places. Because I'm personally not attracted to gay men sexually, or to date. And if you are the trans woman, that is your business. There is no judgment. Everyone is different, to each their own. You know what I mean? Like, what I do doesn't affect you, and what you do doesn't affect me. So live your most happiest, fulfilled life.
Right.
But for me, like, I would like to go to straight bars and not get looks or have to worry about, it's 9 times out of 10, it's women that notice first. And then the women are whispering in, cis women, and women are whispering in men's ears, like, oh, that, because they might be insecure, they might be feel threatened, like I said before.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that. That gives you anxiety. So if I just want to go out and feel safe and have a good time with my girls, I'll probably go to West Hollywood for sure.
Got you. Most definitely. Thank you for that. For kind
Yeah.
of breaking down. Hopefully, if folks are hearing, if they're looking for a safe space, they can go there. But also, can you really? Because I heard you say cis, and I just thought about it because I know that everybody doesn't understand what that means. So can you break down a little bit, like what a cisgender,
Ooh.
or what cis person?
Yep. Because every time I say cis, especially to a man,
Uh-huh.
a lot of my conversations are with men, cis men. They're like, "Oh, I'm not cis. I'm a straight masculine." It's like, woo, ego. Check it up though. Okay. Nobody was coming for your
That is
manhood
not
though.
even what it means.
It's not what it means. I know what you saw in your head. You saw SIS, but scientifically, CIS, cis, is a medical term used to describe someone that, okay, the definition is you live the sex you were assigned at birth, meaning you were assigned male at birth, you're still a male today. You were assigned female at birth, you're still a female today. You are a cisgendered fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Unlike, myself being a transgendered female. I transitioned into female from male.
Thank you. That was like one of the best definitions I've ever heard.
Oh, well, girl.
No, that was good. People, when they explain that, sometimes it's so hard. Because it's I get it too, because it is hard to explain it sometimes. But the way you just explained it, it makes so much sense. Like, yeah.
Can you tell I've done this a few times? Yeah. I literally have sat on the phone, and I have friends that my girls are like, why are you talking to him? He's so disrespectful. He's not disrespectful. He's ignorant. And if nobody has the conversation with him, he will always be ignorant. We need to nip ignorance in the bud and educate.
Oh, yes. Well, okay, so it's our last question. So what are your thoughts on Transgender Visibility Month?
I mean, I think we need to do more, and myself included. I hold myself to a higher standard than I hold the rest of the world, because how can I expect someone to do something that I'm not doing myself? So I posted in Trans Visibility Month, but I feel like I dropped the baton a little bit. I could have done more. I could have, there's so many things I could have done just to get the message out there. We need things like this. We need nights at, different clubs or different events that are geared towards us.
Right.
So that the world again comes to respect us. So we have to do our part and stand up and say, yes, it's Trans Visibility Month. And here's why Trans Visibility Month is so important. Because of everything we've been through, we need to not only acknowledge it, but celebrate our struggles. And I say celebrate because A struggle, if you make it to the other side of a struggle, it's a win. So you celebrate that win. Now we need to respect and acknowledge the fact that not everyone might not make it through that struggle. But I just, even at my funeral, I don't want to be mourned. I want to be celebrated for the life that I was able to live. I don't want people, I'm sure people will cry, but I don't want people crying. I don't necessarily want to party, but I want people to be happy and acknowledge, like, wow, she left a footprint on this earth. She lived a happy, fulfilled life, and she went on to whatever you believe in. You know, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So
most
Trans Visibility Month is very important.
yeah.
And next year, I'm gonna do a lot more. I'm gonna make T-shirts. I'm gonna, I don't know, go on the Channel 5 News in LA and say, hey, Trans Visibility Month. Maybe I'll be a board. Maybe I'll be a board member. You know, coming together with different events. I don't know, but I'm gonna do more than I did this month.
Absolutely. And you know, we wanted, because I know this episode is going to get released probably in April now. But I still, you know, I still think that it's super important regardless. Trans visibility should be every year, all year, every day, right?
Period.
But
Period.
yeah, maybe next year, Black Women Healing Pod and Love Pia can collaborate through during Trans Visibility Month and do something.
I am so down. I am
Yeah.
down to help. This community weighs heavy on my heart. So anything I can do, you know, like even being a part of this podcast, I told you, you know, via email, I am so grateful because this
Yeah.
is literally where I feel like my life has transitioned, not just my gender, but my life, because I want to really focus on this community. I've done the whole career. You know, that's behind me at this point by
Mhm.
choice. And I want to leave a print on the world, and not for Pia Murphy. No, I don't want the fame. I don't want the glory. My heart goes out to the community behind us, you
Yeah.
know, and trans women coming up. It is not okay that I grew up with never seeing a trans woman, never knowing a trans woman around me. I
Mhm.
want to change that. I
Mhm.
want to, you know, people in high school or younger to have people they can look up to. Like, I want to be like her. I want to be like Janet Mock. I've read both her
Mhm.
books. I follow her religiously. Like, I have her every time she sends a tweet, I get a tweet notification. She is literally, if I had an idol, it would be her. She is
Okay.
classy. She carries herself such like I can only say amazingly amazing things about her. Like, I get tongue tied. Like, I don't get starstruck. I've worked with so many people in the industry. I've been blessed, but her, I would probably like melt. Like, oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Yeah. No, I
I'm like
agree. I
I'm like a little
absolutely.
schoolgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Well,
With Janet Mock being amazing.
uh-huh. Yeah, it's and I think that's true. You don't, like you just said, especially like growing up, you didn't see folks who was at least not outwardly, right? You don't really see that. Nobody talks about it either. So like, and
Right.
even today it's not like, it's like you say, a lot of like, say I'm just thinking of like like a like your younger self. If your younger self
Hmm.
had you to look at, like say if you seen you walking down the street or in a school, like say
What?
if your younger self seen you teaching the class, like what would your younger self have done?
Yes. And now I work at a school, and
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not, my first day, well, even to this day, I still have anxiety about someone being like, "Are you?" No one has ever blinked an eye. No one has ever raised the lip, raised the eyebrow. Now, of course, you know, with adults, you get the little looks or stuff. Sure, they're adults, but I'm talking about the kids. And I work at an elementary school, and elementary kids can be harsh.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten on me about my hands being ashy, but no one has ever said anything about me being trans. And that warms my heart so much because that means we are moving towards a day where it is accepted, it is respected, where it's, you know, I've even been leery about parents like, how are they gonna feel about me being around? The parents love me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want a day where it is common for you to see a transgender teacher. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Up there teaching a class. I'm about to be the head of a department, God, hopefully. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. You know, and that would be amazing to be at a prestigious school as a trans woman,
Yep.
walking in my most authentic life, not hiding, not, just being me and being accepted and respected. I love it.
Me too. Me too.
Yay.
Well, I know we've covered a lot of different things, and I feel like this is one of those episodes that I know we're gonna need a part two,
Child,
and
I'm
we
down.
need you back for different, like, so many different topics we can kind of dive into. But we just wanted to at least give our audience a different, a different side of, like, one, just our opinions and what we're speaking about, but just to, like, get to know Pia. So what would you
Yes.
say? What would you say a takeaway would be for our audience? Because we always give our audience a takeaway.
Okay. Well, I would definitely have to be mindful of what's going on right now in the world. This world is in a crazy place right now with everything going on concerning Corona,
Mm-hmm.
um, COVID 19. The biggest thing I want our community and the world at large to take away is to make sure you find and maintain peace. And by that, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give an example. I'm sure everyone knows that at the center of like a tornado or a twister, there's what's called the eye of the storm, right? And so this eye of the storm is not only beautiful from what I've heard, because I've never seen it except in the movie Twister, but from what I've heard, it's beautiful, but it's also peaceful compared to the swirling winds that encompass it. Um, in my later years, no matter what is going on around me, in any given situation, I find myself in, and I've been through a lot. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
craziness. I'm writing a book. Stay tuned.
Yes.
I don't know how, but by the grace of God, I found a way to maintain my inner peace. To so much so that the people that are super close to me have no idea what turmoil I'm going through. At home, at work, wherever. And to me, it's like you must find a way to keep your inner peace. Even now, with being quarantined in the house,
Mm-hmm.
you can get, what is it, cabin fever.
Mm.
Find something that brings you joy, even if it's something little. I love reading books. I have 4 books that I brought. Well, I have 3 that I brought with me and 1 that I bought that I'm here. I'm reading, I'm writing. I love being on social media and talking to people. I love having these types of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still doing these things that bring me peace. And usually it's like, for your sanity and your ultimate growth, you must find this peace. And from this peace will sprout hope. From that hope will sprout a thriving garden of joy, positive energy, and most importantly, the strength to triumph through whatever comes your way. And that's how, like, my friends always say, I don't know how you got through that, or I don't know how you're still smiling. I'm still smiling because I found peace. No matter what happens, nothing now, the Pia that you see before you, nothing will shake or shatter my peace. That's one thing I am not willing to compromise. If you break my peace, you gotta go. Period. Gotta go.
Uh-huh. Well, I
So
think
that's what I want them to take away.
amazing takeaways for the world. Literally, I think
Yeah.
that's not only just for Black women, it's not just for us, right? That's for everybody. And I think that we needed those words, and we need those words during this time, because for sure, our mental health, that's one of the main things that's being impacted right now, actually.
Amen. Okay. I just cried earlier. Don't know why, but you know how it is on hormones. One minute you're smiling, the next minute, ooh.
All right, get it
But I still got
together.
peace.
Get it
Okay.
together. Come on, peace. Come on, peace. Right.
Peace. Peace. Come
Yeah.
in the room. Leave Corona outside though.
Rona, you can't come in. You can't.
Rona, not here. Social distance, girl. Social
Right. Well, thank you so much, and I'm pretty sure we'll connect soon. Yeah, but
Yay.
I'm so thankful, and I appreciate you taking the time to educate, because you do not have to, right? You don't have
Right.
to, and I think that
Mm-mm.
sometimes people expect that you, like, oh, you have to, but you don't. And so I thank
No.
you. We thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule in life, and educating us and just us letting us getting to know you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and thank you for what you're doing, even beyond me, for our community. We need more of you, and I love what you guys are doing. That's why when you reached out, I immediately was like, yes, hello, I'm down. Let's do this. I'm just honored to be a part of, this with you. So thank you.
Okay, talk to you soon. Good night.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Yay.
So I know y'all know this, but Myra, the other half of Black Women's Healing Podcast, wasn't here to join this podcast recording. Just know she's here. She's most definitely here in spirit. It was different recording a podcast without her, and I most definitely miss her. But I think this episode was truly needed. So yeah, this episode was something that it was one that we wanted to release in March for trans visibility awareness. But just like me and Pia was talking about, trans visibility awareness should be every day, and we want to do our best as Black women and Black Women Healing Podcast to show that and show and understand. We need y'all to understand we are allies. So y'all most definitely have our support. Um, I guess a book for this episode. I'm gonna go ahead and, like Pia talked about when we first started, was "Girl Stop Apologizing" by Rachel Hollis. I went ahead and looked it up. I've never read it, but I feel like I've heard about this book everywhere. And if Pia's talking about it like it's good, I'm pretty sure it's good. So I encourage you all to read that book. Um, right now, I pray for everyone and their families, and I just hope that we can get through this. We can get through the coronavirus, this pandemic, and yeah, I think this is most definitely one of those things that I keep stressing to my clients, my family, anybody I talk to, is that we don't have control over everything. Like, we're not supposed to. We're humans. We only have control over a little bit of things. And in retrospect, it's actually a lot of things when you really sit down and think about it. So in this time, I encourage you all to really just um, to focus on the things that you do have control over. So I don't care if it's being able to eat every day. That is something you have control over, and that at least even it might not be tomorrow, but today that's something you do. So I think that's something we really have to focus on in these times. And yeah, don't let people right now make you feel like that you have to focus. Like, people are like, oh, use this time to you have to come out this time with the new book or business. Hey, that's not for everybody, and that's okay. You might need this time to literally do nothing, to breathe, to have some peace, and that's what you should use this time for as well. I ain't mad if you start a business or write a book. Do that too, but to each his own. So I say all that to say rant over. um, yeah, Black Women Healing Podcast, we will be offering different virtual healing circles to support our audience and to support us as well. So please register for those virtual healing circles. As of now, they are free, but we, encourage donations. We appreciate any support that you all can give to our podcast. Um, Please follow us on all social media links at BWH_POD pod. And if we see y'all listening, but we don't got that many subscribers to our account. So wherever you listening at, please just subscribe. Please like it or something. We just want y'all support, and we want y'all to continue listening. But yeah, just hit that subscribe button. We would love that. So yeah, we will see y'all next week for another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. Bye.